Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another episode of the best mods of the week in Baldur's Original Sin 2. Baldur's Gate 3. We have some huge overhaul mods here today, like the If Fate Chose Differently, Wyll Pact Points Overhaul by Magnituning. Now, Wyll's story doesn't really have a whole lot of autonomy like Shadowheart's does. This mod will change that with no AI used. It's incredible. We also have the Early Access Nautiloid for those that haven't played through the game's Early Access. There's a lot of things that are different. We'll be exploring that in this video. We also got a lot of different outfit mods, the hit die rules as written here by Max Strength Wizard, and some extensions on top of Astarion's Romance. And there's a lot of other amazing mods to include today, so we'll be diving right in. And also a quick disclaimer, about half the mods here today are from Nexus Mods. I know a lot of people don't really enjoy that, but there's just a lot of great things being posted in Nexus that are not being added to Mod.io. So, and there's also mods that get added to Nexus and later make their way over to Mod.io. So just want to put a little disclaimer there at the start. But first off, we'll be going over the Unnerfed Origins mod by Cobalt Juno. So the origin characters are all quite strong. If you know their backstories, they're not level 1 when you first meet them. This gives them different passives here that make sense within the lore. For example, Astarion gets advantage on saving throws against undead creatures whenever they cast spells. Karlach gets advantage on attacks against fiend-type enemies. Shadowheart gets a bonus to her intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. Gale can cast illusion and enchantment spells as an action or a bonus action because he's a prodigy of that kind of magic. Lae'zel gets advantage against aberration-type enemies, and Wyll gets advantage against monstrosities. In addition, Halsin gets to reroll his melee damage strikes while he's in wild shape. Mince the Rashomar Berserker gets to ignore resistances to physical damage. Jaheira gets proficiency with all weapons. Concentrations will also give her a +2 to her AC. And Minthara gets, whenever she succeeds on a saving throw, she'll slow the target for 2 turns. And honestly, it just feels kind of weird with how powerful Gale is, like in the lore of the game. And then when you start playing with him, he's just level 1. So just makes things make a lot more sense. Obviously the tadpole and all that. But yeah, this is Unnerfed Origins by Cobalt Juno. Next up, we got Astarion's Graveyard Scene extended by Revolution Scribe. Now what's cool is it adds in stuff that was actually in the dev notes, like Astarion using Dagger to carve in the new date on the tombstone. There are some different tweaks to the lighting and how the camera works, rework the dialogue there. And if you also have their Couatl Astarion mod, it'll actually seamlessly work into that as well. I love seeing mods like this that enhance stuff from the base game. So yeah, that's Astarion's Graveyard Scene extended. Next, we got the Death by Roses by Char Mods here. And this is the outfit that you see on Shadowheart here. I actually really like this outfit. It's kind of modernish, but it also feels like it feels appropriate within Baldur's Gate. So this here gives a +1 to attack roll and damage roll while shapeshifting or disguise, advantage on deception and persuasion checks, and a +1 to AC. Now this does end up using or setting your armor class at 3, but there's a lot of great transmogrify mods out there that can help combat that. And there's also headgear too here. So yeah, complete the look. It looks amazing, and always a fan of outfits like this. I also want to quickly mention that my weapon pack mod is almost complete. I was working on it a lot this week and just didn't end up having enough time to finish it with all the testing and stuff that goes on with mods as I test all the mods myself. So yeah, it'll hopefully be here in the next few days. Taking pictures and writing descriptions is a lot of time and work. But you can see the Fire, Frost, and Flora blades in all their glory right here, and it'll be coming to Mod.io near you soon. And I also have versions of the weapons without those special effects on them. And I do have a Patreon that's free if you'd like to stay updated with my mods, and I'll have that linked in the comments. And next up, we got the Cobalt Key Warrior Progressive Equipment set here by Scurvy. Another banger of a mod by Scurvy. This is the outfit here. It looks amazing. So with this, it's progressive like their others. They also have a camp clothing version of this. It'll set your intelligence and dexterity to 18. It also gives you a barrier spell and increases your armor class, spell save DC, and spell attack rolls as you continue to level up. I'll also just quickly mouse over these. You can pause them if you want to read through the additional benefits. It also comes with this Cobalt Key Warrior one-handed blade here. Looks pretty cool. It's probably a reference to something. I'm just not entirely sure what it is, but yeah, Keyblade looking sword. Legally distinct, because I know they don't like having their IP and other stuff. And I'll just take you through some of the shots here because they do a great job of showcasing it. Next up, we got Astarion's Ascended Transformation by Revolution Scribe. Some more great Astarion stuff. So this makes it whenever you ascend Astarion, he looks a little bit more vampiric and to the tune of Strahd von Zarovich there. So incredible stuff here, and a nice transformation which makes his eyes glow. His ritual scars will pulse and glow. There's some custom changes to his head as well. There's small changes there, and more visible veins to make his skin appear more translucent. So I honestly think this is great. Love seeing different types of mods like this. So Ascended Astarion's transformation. And next up, we got the Lamp of Luxury by May. So you get this very nice lamp at the very start of the game. You can use it, and Ta-da! You're now inside the lamp. Really cool stuff. So yeah, this is nice because you can kind of treat this like a camp of sorts. You don't got withers, but that's all right. You got the vibes. This place is really cool. And this is actually a place that I didn't even know was in the game for quite some time playing it. So really cool stuff, being able to teleport here. And you got the Mystic Fountain here to hold some water. You can throw at enemies. Lovely stuff here. And yeah, another amazing mod here by Mer-May. And next up, we got ourselves the Guardian Angel feat here by Trace T1 or Track T1. Now this gives a new feat into the game. So this is from their BG3 Reforged mod. If an ally within 5 meters gets attacked, you can then heal them for a 1d4 plus your character level. And if you end up healing them for more, you give them 6 temporary hit points. I love any way that you can spend a reaction, and being able to heal your teammates with this, very cool stuff. So yeah, go check out the Guardian Angel feat if you just want a standalone piece from their BG3 Reforged. Next, we got auto knockout story NPCs by What's on the Flip. Now, I covered one previously that worked for just Minthara, but this will help you out because sometimes it is annoying when going through the game and you accidentally have 1 additional fire point on your damage, and that's enough to knock them past being knocked out, inflicting the dead condition. We don't want that. So this will protect Mayrina's brothers, Demir and Joel, the Whispering Masks. It'll also protect Auntie Ethel. Oops, I read that wrong. It'll protect Minsk, the Whispering Masks, once you make it to level Act 3, and Karilla. And Karilla won't be knocked out in the House of Hope. So this is just another nice quality of life so you don't end up screwing something up. I love mods like this. And judging by the thumbnail, I think it probably works on Minthara too. I just haven't had the time to be able to go through the whole game and test that out. But next we got a perfect disguise. Commit crimes in confidence by Kali Sins. The perfect outfit for if you get dumped by a goddess. So what this does is it gives you disguise self and it makes you unrecognizable. Now, these are hilarious if you don't know what this is like it's a funny thing. Might be a North American thing, I don't know, but yeah, it's a funny disguise and similar to, yeah, some of the stuff you can find in real life. Love it. So that is a perfect disguise by Kali Sins. And that's not all, folks. We'll follow it up with another. I can't believe it's not Halberds. It's all about the spear. So I'll just go through some of the images quickly here. So some more amazing weapon mods, and spears are an underutilized type of weapon in Baldur's Gate 3. I think spears are really cool. I love when games, like I recently played, or I guess a year ago played, the first Berserker Kazan. They made spears feel amazing, and I love when spears feel good in games because they're a very underrated weapon. Not a lot of games do them well, but thanks to this mod, you got a lot of really cool ones. So I'm just gonna go through some of their images here because they did a great job of showcasing this. And you can see it here. They also come with special attacks. Like this one's got the Forceful Strike. It comes in a large container saying no halberds allowed. And you can see here, they come with a bunch of different elemental damage types. You got a legendary or a rare version of each of these weapons. The legendary one's coming with additional features as well as an additional skill. Yeah, it's pretty. Love it. So yeah, can't believe it's not halberds, and it's also not butter. Next up, we got Illithid Fashion. So this is by Fluffy Spider. So yeah, this basically makes it so Illithids can wear cool hats. There is a container included, which will give you some outfits that the Mind Flayers can wear. Very stylish. I'm just gonna go through their images here. They also have a chef hat, which is amazing. So if you're using the Pizza Chef Monk mod that I made, it works perfectly with that. And what's also cool is it uses the Gith body as well. So yeah, it's got compatibility with those outfits. So pretty sweet stuff. No, I'm a huge fan of these mods by The Real Zier. Also love the Johnny Bravo profile picture, but this is the Sorcerer 2024-ish. So this brings the Sorcerer class up and somewhat similar to like the D&D 5.5e, which is what Wizards of the Coast is now going by. So this will update a lot of different things. I'm not going to go over every single change, but you can see here that each of the 3 subclasses in the game, or these 3 subclasses get changes, and then all the others all 4 of them will get different benefits alongside it. The big thing, if you're not familiar with the rule set, is that they now have innate sorcery, which gives a spell save DC +1 and advantage on spell attack rolls. This is almost like the Barbarian's Rage for a spellcaster, like the Sorcerer. So that's one of the major changes. There's a lot of other ones, like creating sorcery points will no longer cost a bonus action. Across the board, I think this is a really nice change. It doesn't make it, like, it's not an annoying change like some of the 2024 rule sets. And I also love the Real Zier's mods because, hey, sometimes you just want the 2024 rule set for a specific class. Now you can with this mod here. This is another like mind-blowing mod. I love this. Ancient Mega Pact plus D&D 5.5e Beyond patch by Paramanov. So Ancient Mega Pact, one of the largest mods in the Mod Manager. Same thing can be said of D&D 5.5e all in one. This patches it to work together. Honestly, this would have taken so long to do. Like, it blows my mind. So this will work together and make it so that they don't overrate each other, because they do have some changes that work alongside each other. This has 342 stat overrides for item statuses, passives, and spells that both mods touch. Weapon masteries in the 5 fight and 5e rule sets are preserved on the shared items. Amp's economy and rebalancing is reapplied on top, and then load order independent. Both mods are set as dependencies, and the patch will automatically load last so that it works properly. I don't even want to know how long this took. I can imagine it was like a very long time. Blows my mind what's possible, and Permanov is putting a lot of hard work in, not just making all these great mods in the Ancient Mega Pack itself, but now having a compatibility with another major mod. I love seeing stuff like this. It's so cool. Permanov crushed it with this. Next up, we got the Marauder Weapons, Sword and Daggers by Crypto Hack. They're also the creator of the Marauder class mod, which I know a lot of people really enjoy. This hour weapon here, whenever you get a critical hit, it'll also slow the target. And the minute, whenever you, or minute, I'm not sure, whenever this, I guess hour minute, whenever you land a critical hit, the user becomes hasted for 2 turns, but does not become lethargic whenever it ends. And a +1 to the armor class there. Great, because yeah, getting lethargic sucks. And next up, we got the Couatl Herald, a less lethal fighter subclass mod by the Wailing Bard. This is a peacekeeper of a bygone era. Really nice looking, I gotta say, this is a really nice icon here. It fits within Baldur's Gate 3. Now, fighters obviously like to fight. This is one that's looking for more peaceful resolutions. Now, I've made a charisma-based fighter. I think it's a really cool idea. And this one, you don't want to dump charisma. You're rewarded for avoiding fights wherever possible. And you also have these mercy die here to give yourself temporary hit points to help survive in fights. And you can also use the Benevolent Presence die here to help boost up your dialogue rolls. So this is really a class that's meant to be, you know, less lethal of a fighter. We got lovers and fighters, we got Couatl Heralds, and a less lethal fighter here by the Wailing Bard. And finally, this is a really cool mod by Sapient Starstuff, the Illithid Awakened. So whenever you get the ability to use Illithid abilities as a bonus action, there are times where I'd actually prefer to use my full action on it. Sometimes it's nice to have 2 of them back to back. This adds a toggle so it can be either as a bonus action or as a full-on action. I think that's how it should have been in the base game, so incredible mod, very cool stuff. Damn, I've been yapping for 12 minutes already, but yeah, that's what we got from Mod.io. There's actually quite a few here, but Nexus Mods, there's a lot of great stuff here, like the Emerald Lake, a map for VP by Inky Please. I've been featuring all their mods in here because they're some of my favorites. Look at this area here. So if you've been watching my previous Best Mods of the Week videos, you'll recognize that I've been in a lot of strange and unique worlds, and this adds in a very summery place for VP, but I did make a video a couple weeks back how you can actually turn these into actual combat maps and have like endless waves of enemies come after you and your team. So there are a lot of different ways you can play around with these different types of mods. This looks really cool though. It's nice to actually have something like large scale like these mods. So I previously covered it last week, their Pride and Prejudice maps, which I also covered in a few other videos. Really amazing stuff. So yeah, another incredible mod here by Inky Please. Now next up, this mod is absolutely massive. This is the Early Access Nautiloid by Derek L27. Which actually includes a new line recorded for the mod by Gale's voice actor Tim Downey via cameo. I love this. Again, I hate seeing AI things like that in mods, so it is really nice that, you know, they spent a lot of time, effort, and money to be able to put this together. Now, this makes some pretty major changes to the Nautiloid here. So initially in early access, the Nautiloid room was a lot different. In addition to that, the tutorial chest, you no longer have to run too far because the tutorial chest is literally just right here. Now, this makes a lot of the changes to restore this back to what its full glory back in the early access. Fan of the Resonance Stone? Well, there's a damaged Resonance Stone right at the start of the game, foreshadowing one of the most overpowered things in this game. Yeah, this is so cool. And what's cool about this is the room with the imps here, you can't actually climb up like you normally would have to. So what you do is actually, sorry, I heard a lot of weird banging outside. So yeah, you come over to the side here, and then there's a whole other room. If you're using camera mods, it may, as you see here, cause a couple issues, but a whole other room based on the early access here, as yeah, it's restoring a lot of the content based on what it was, and seamlessly into Baldur's Gate 3 as well. And it is really cool. If you've ran through the Nautiloid hundreds of times like myself, being able to see it in its glory in early access is really cool. So yeah, completely different. Again, there's also a recorded line of dialogue by Tim Downey, and you can also check out his cameo there. Really cool stuff. So definitely go check out that early access Nautiloid here by Derek L27. Incredible stuff. Next up we got If Fate Chose Differently, a Wyll Pact Points Overhaul, the Wyll Cinematic Universe mod number 4 by Magna Tuning. This is huge because Wyll had a lot of rewrites during the course of Baldur's Gate 3 being created. And a lot of people really wish that Wyll had more autonomy over his own story in the game, kind of similar to how Shadowheart, you know, in the whole Act 2 deal. So this mod was like a lot of work over the last year and a bit for Magna Tuning. And what's cool about this is it actually adds in 60 pieces of dialogue for Wyll, spliced and repurposed for Wyll throughout the game. And this also overhauls the Acts 2 and 3 scenes. There are also some unique spliced lines for the narrator, and some unedited vanilla lines for Wyll were separated out and included in the files for this mod, which will fix the lip syncing issues. And no generative AI was used in the making of this mod. Amazing. So yeah, a little note here is that you do not need to use AI to make mods. That's why I don't use it at all when I make mods. And yeah, it just goes to show you can make fantastic things for Baldur's Gate 3. I know the AI bros are going to come at me again for saying things like that, but you don't have to be a prostitute to make incredible mods for Baldur's Gate. So yeah, If Fate Chose Differently, Wyll Pact Points Overhaul by Magna Tuning. Next up we got Hit Die, rules as written by Max Strength Wizard. Now, if you've played D&D Tabletop or any of the mods that add the 2024 edition, I really like this implementation. So you're going to short rest as normal, and then once the short rest is started, the party is going to stand still. All actions are blocked until the short rest is over. You get 2 new temporary items added to your hotbar, which will recover the hit points. Now, in Baldur's Gate 3, they simplified it just because, you know, it's a video game, so they give you 50% of your health, and it just doesn't feel like it's actual D&D. So now you get to use hit point die to recover your hit points this way, and it's really smooth in its implementation. So this is also the time for you to use the arcane and natural recovery, so pretty cool stuff. And then you'll turn off your short resting toggle at the end. So different characters are going to have different hit point die depending on the class that you chose. And if you played something like Solasta 2, you'll be somewhat familiar with this. So incredible mod here by Max Strength Wizard. Now, I'm a pretty big fan of Divinity Original Sin 2. Played it quite a while ago and played it again recently. Love the game. If you like Baldur's Gate 3 a lot and you want to support Larian, check that game out because it is really good. But in that game, you have this really sassy skeleton called FANE, and you can now play as him in Baldur's Gate 3 thanks to Mehrunes by using their FANE head preset mod, which literally lets you play as FANE. Now, there's obviously some things about playing as a skeleton. If you want to get the full experience, it's probably best to use one of the skeleton mods like the Undead mod by Ghoul's Rules, because you'll turn your body into a skeleton too. If you use the normal humanoid body type, you'll have a human body, but that can be combated by, you see here, equipping a bunch of armor to hide it. This armor set is the Moon Knight armor, and it does a good job because you can see his skeletal neck there, but remove it and that's what happens. So highly recommend using the skeleton mod alongside. But yeah, this is super cool, and you don't have to play as a skeleton guy. You can also play with some amazing hairstyles, which you can do in Divinity Original Sin 2 as well. This mod looks amazing. So that is the FANE head preset by Mehrunes. Next up, we got Who Runs the World? Tavs, a single-player multi-Tav mod. So this lets you create more than one player character in a single-player game. This mod by Padme 4000, pretty straightforward in what it does, as sometimes you just want to create a full custom party. Like if you want to play as all Dragonborns, you can go, oops, all Dragonborns, and play with them now. And it's cool because there's multiple types. So there's a script extender version that uses the mod configuration menu. But if you don't like to use that, there's an Osiris version of the mod as well. That is amazing. It probably took them a very long time. The instructions are all here. I'm not going to go over every single instruction because that's for you to explore whenever you download this mod. But incredible stuff by Padme 4000. They've made so many great mods for Baldur's Gate 3. Next up, we got the Empress of the Isles, the Emily Kaldwin's outfit by Yanhi. And yes, this looks amazing. If you play Dishonored 2, you'll be familiar with this outfit. I think it looks really good within Baldur's Gate 3. This is on body types 1 for normies, tieflings, and yeah, no VTs are used. Really nice looking outfit. Pretty simple. You might want to use some boots alongside it here, but yeah, that is the... Oh, silly me, there is boots alongside it for the camp clothing. There is also a version of just armor if you prefer to use the armor. You also got a ring here that you can equip, and you also have separate scarves, modular, so if you just want to throw on the scarves there, you can go ahead with that. Another incredible mod here, Empress of the Isles by Yanhi. And next up we got the Chanteuse. Chanteuse, which is lovers or singers in French, and the lovers. So this is a core set and tailored clothing for body types 1, 2, 3 and brackets 4. And this outfit does come with multiple different pieces again, so modular. So if you wanted to just use like the certain parts of it, like the second best friend here, you can go ahead with that. And when it said 4 in brackets, there's certain outfits here like the Duke, which works on certain characters. As you can see, we got it on Minsk now. So yeah, it's this outfit that's available to body types 1, 2, 3, 4, and this outfit is available on body types 1, 2, 3. And just so you get an idea what it looks like on different characters, there's some really great shots here. So yeah, you can get real creative. I really like the fancy outfits in here. So yeah, some cool stuff, especially if you want to play as a Mind Flayer. Amazing. So yeah, that is the, that's by Arafel194. And next we got the Nyxra head preset here by Manuli Peroni. And this mod actually has a Mod.io version as well as a Nexus Mods version. Now, the Mod.io version doesn't apply makeup to the face as well as the Nexus Mod version does. So yeah, just a small distinct between those two, but this is the head mod here. It's amazing. I really like their different head mods. I've been using them in a lot of my recent videos. So yeah, they also have some great shots of it too to better show off what it can look like. So yeah, amazing stuff here. Absolutely love it. That is by Manuli Peroni. And next up we got the Nomads of El Rahalat. This adds in new armors for body types 1 through 3 and 4, and also 4 different dyeable weapons as well. So this does have a requirement that you do have to have the AV item shipwork framework for this to work properly. I'm gonna go through some of their shots here that they took of this mod. It looks really cool. The book accessory has physics. It's amazing stuff. And there's the shoes there, and the scimitar of El Rahal. It's also dyeable too, which is really nice to see. Not a lot of weapons are actually dyeable. There's a cape with a hood up or hood down version depending on what you want to roll with. This mod looks amazing. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. You also got the sun staff there as well. Great stuff. Definitely worth checking out. This mod's made by Eldwin and they got some really cool mods as well. And it's a new week. That means new bodysuit. So this is the combat bodysuit Ascendant 1 Artemis here by ZXCCVZZXCADQ. Might have got that wrong, but this adds in a new armor set created by Evil Recluse. So I went over their Stellar Blade outfit, which I really like. I use that in a few different videos. Yeah, another incredible new armor set. It doesn't look natural within Baldur's Gate 3, but that's okay. It's a mod. It looks cool. I like it. So yeah, we're checking it out. And happy Mer-May. This is the Mermaid Heads mod here by Adrestea Moon. So if you want to play as like a mermaid, a triton, things like that, you can easily with a mod like this, which adds in some custom heads. This is really cool. I love seeing mods like this that add stuff that's like very unique. Let's go through some of their shots here because they did a great job of capturing this. So yeah, if you're looking to play as a mermaid, this is the mod to download. And the last mod today is Soul the Witch Bish, their Spell and Dagger mod here. So this is a photo mode mod, which adds in some really cool poses that, you know, look like you're spell casting. So I love this. I'm just going to go through some of their shots here. I think they did an incredible job. You can ride on a broomstick here. The Spell and Blade. Yeah, this is, I love different types of photo mode mods like this. So yeah, another amazing week for Baldur's Gate 3 mods. There's so much to cover here. I unfortunately had to cut some stuff out as my RAM was not handling it very well, but there's a lot of great things out there. So wanted to showcase some of my favorites from the week. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is actually my longest best mods of the week video. Crazy stuff. Lots of cool things being released every single week. So subscribe if you want to see some more. I will be releasing my weapon mod next week, so you can stay tuned for that. And I hope you guys all have a great day. We'll catch you in the next one.